Hello everybody and welcome back to Inside Line Racing. This is the first ever race for the Americas, for the American tier for ILR, Inside Line Racing. And if you don't recognize my voice or it's been a long time, well, why don't I introduce you to the start of Season 5 for the ILR Americas PS4 tier. My name is Alan Cavagnaro, and it is such a thrill to be back in the booth commentating over F1 leagues. Last time I commentated was more than 365 days ago, so we're gonna give this thing a shot. And actually, I don't even know the sound settings. I just got the game for less than 48 hours ago, so let's see here. Audio settings, audio volume levels, turn that down, turn that down, turn that down. That should be fine. Okay, we should be good now. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the game. I had F1 2017, so I sort of remember the controls, but it is so good to be back in the booth, and like old times, I'm back in the booth by myself, solo. That's the way I roll, and we're going to introduce you to the drivers of the ILR America series. So starting off, we have Sterling West, we have Robo in the McLaren. Let me run on board with these drivers. That's not it, that's not it. There you go, that's the button. Broadcast, that's the TV, there you go, I'm figuring it out. Yeah, on the Red Bull, you have Banana, then Robo, Mr. Jennings in the Williams, Fatal, I actually do remember Fatal 302 is in the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Then you have John, who is in the pits, I assume that is a Williams. Then you have King MJJ, he is the lobby host, he's in the Force India. After that, you have the Red Bull, let me check the name. Diego, the TV's far back, I can't really see it that well. We have Jack Racing, I assume as a reserve. This is the America series, however, not every driver is American. To fill up the series, we do have some international drivers outside from North America to fill it up. We have some Oceania drivers as well, and some from Europe. Right now in Europe, it should be 10 p.m., I'm assuming, so that should be 22 hours. A little late for them. And I forgot to say, we have the Mercedes driver of, what is that? Trementor? I want to say that correctly. Treminator? Okay, we're just going to go with Treminator. Down in the Silver Arrow, it's me in the Toro Rosso. Then you have what I assume is Odoms, changing his PSN again. That's Marquez. We're just going to call him Odoms, because everyone knows him by that. Alfa Romeo Sauber. How do I say this name? Oven? I think we're going to go with Oven. If I say your name incorrectly, please comment down below. I don't want to mispronounce names. Some names I missed up here. We have LR Speedsta, and close friend of mine, so I'm not going to be biased, but I am going to say a huge shout out and thank you again to Speedsta and Marquez for helping me get this game for the start of the ILR season. It was Thursday night. I didn't even have this game installed. I haven't even bought it yet. So we went out Friday night, we got the game, and it installed. It took till 3 a.m. Yesterday morning for this game to install. So I'm still getting used to it, and I did miss some drivers. There's Elite in the Renault. Many drivers setting times already. They're setting their banker laps, and those laps aren't going to be as competitive. However, you do see clouds in the sky, so if it does start to rain, those times will become a factor, those banker times. So as we scroll down, if I missed anyone, we have some drivers retired. You can see in the Williams, I can't really tell by the color. It's blue, I assume it's the Williams, but that's JP Montoya. We'll call him JP. And CX and the Mercedes. And then we have in 19th place. Again, I can't tell. Some of these drivers are reserve. And Odoms taking the, he's creating his own track limits, as you can see, in turns 11, 12, 13 section, however runs wide. And as you can see, do we have some rain? I thought we did have some rain, but it is getting very dark on track. And fastest time, if you were wondering, is a 1:19.6. Many of these drivers back in the pits, so why don't we ride on board? Not Mr. Jennings, no, he's slow. Here, at least slowing down. In the Sauber, it looks to be Oven, and Oven is carrying heavy speed, and you can look down at the bottom of the wheel. He looks very steady with the wheel, getting a clean corner entry through each one, hugging up against the left side, right side, back to the curbs, and running up against the wall. And this looks to be a good time, but there's a yellow in Sector 2, and that does look to be There you go. I can change by R1. I forgot I could do that. R1. That is Mr. Jennings slow on the track. And does he have a puncture? I am not sure. Can I change? There's only 2 camera angles I can do, but from what it looks to be, very, very slow, staying at a steady pace. He's either out of fuel or with a puncture. I assume he's out of fuel. To lower that fuel mix to get a good run in there, which supposes he was only going to go out there for 1 entire lap in qualifying. We have Sterling West out on track in the Ferrari, partnering Speedster, who has the fastest lap, and speaking of him, he's back out on track. But we scroll down, we have Banana down in 4th place, and the Red Bull, he's trying to improve his lap time. And I haven't commentated in so long, I forgot I need a water bottle for this stuff when I go solo. Because whenever my voice would get tired, I would always let my co-commentator speak. But we don't have that in this, so I'm going to have to improvise with this. Or before the race started, I could go downstairs and get a water bottle. But more drivers that we did miss. Odoms or Marquez on a flying lap in that pink Panther, of course. And trailing away, we can ride on board. No, not that. R1, there you go. Riding on board, maxing up all the way down to 4th gear. Again, creating his own track limits is Marquez. Flying through the streets of Albert Park, or I should say the park. More like it, because these are streets, but in Albert Park. Charging on board, taps the wall. In real life, that tire would have popped off, but since this is, since it's a game, it stayed on. But again, clean corner entry, and that corner cut does mess up his run. And I was reading the chat before we started this that it would be strict corner cutting, so I highly doubt in my imagination that that lap would be allowed. And that's probably why Odoms has not set a lap yet. But he's been very, very creative with his track interpretation, as you can see. The number 86 Force India is slowing down, and I assume we'll go for 1 more lap on those, I believe, Ultra Softs. I'm not sure. This is my first commentary on F1 2018. Let's add the detail of tires. Okay, those tires are still Ultra Softs. That's good to know. I think they changed it for 2019, so that's going to be a little confusing. But let's look at the top of the board. It is that Ferrari of LR Speedster for Livid Racing, who has the top step right now for qualifying. And most of these drivers are on Ultra Softs. I'm looking down at not only the, looks to be the Alfa Romeo in 6th place of Oven. He's on the Super Soft tire. And yeah, he is very, very aggressive with that strategy. But he's down in the 122s, while Speedster is in the 119.6. So very competitive lap times and a big, big difference. And Speedster is going for it all in qualifying right now. And for me, this is, in my opinion, new because I honestly do not remember Ultra Softs being used at Albert Park. It could be memory. It could be memory. I don't honestly remember. But again, the tires are getting a lot more grippy and more compounds are being used at these tracks. But it's going to be Diego that crosses the line. It's a 190 or 119.6. That is... What's the interval here? Can I check the interval? Hopefully nope, that's not what I wanted. Leader, there you go. 0.06 of a second difference. Odom scoots his way to 3rd place. Just noticed that. Sterling West is on a flying lap. Speeds his teammate. He's trailing on the back straight. And we'll go through 11, 12, 13 here off the straight. And with 2018, I forgot. This is a DRS straight here. It's not much of a straight, but... there is a 3rd DRS straight at this track that has been added. And despite F1 2018 and despite being the year 2019, I don't think there will be a fastest lap or a point for a fastest lap like there is in the 2019 F1 season. But riding on board with the Scuderia Ferrari, that's Sterling West. He'll cross the line. Not improving his lap, still 0.6 off. So is Odoms in 3rd. Now, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm looking down at that track surface, and I am starting to notice that it is getting really, really shiny. And obviously, we don't see rain, but I'm still worried about those clouds, even not even in qualifying. If we do see it for the race, and having some rain in the race today could be a huge, huge decider for the race win, and these drivers will have to accommodate that. But it'll be Odoms in the pits. Sterling West is still out on track. Fatal is coming in the pits. They're scrolling down to the silver arrow of Trementator. Not Trementator. I'm butchering these names. Hold on. Treminator. Treminator. Is now in the pits. Many of these drivers coming in the pits with 5 minutes left, so either they want to stay in the pits till the end, or they are making a blitz for one final run in qualifying. And most likely they will do that. Elite Lorenzo down in the Renault. I think that's another driver we missed. He's in the Renault this season. Elite Lorenzo. He is 4 seconds back, but he is looking to capitalize on this lap time. Final corner, good entry, hopefully good exit just against the runoff on the curbs. He'll get just enough speed up to the line. Elite Lorenzo jumps his time to 9th place. And looking throughout, has any driver jumped their time? I think, did Jack move up? No, he's in the pits. I did see someone move up, but I think that was King. Yeah, King just jumped up to 6th place. I missed that. He's on the Ultra Softs. I just noticed Odoms is on the Super Softs when he set these times. So, very interesting to see, first of all, that he was struggling to set a time on the Ultra Softs. It was because he was cutting the corners, but, nonetheless, it shows that Odoms does have the pace up there, and it was a little bit concerning to see the gap out from 1st to 15th within around 4.5 seconds, but it does show that we will have competition up in the front. Many of these guys in the pits. Let's ride on board with King MJ. There you go, R1. And that is Odoms' teammate. And running into the grass. Did he lose it while taking that right-hander with DRS? I'm not entirely sure, but King MJJ, we'll just call him King. And right now, he does stand 6 on the times. I'm just curious if there were any incidents on track, because we did see a yellow in Sector 2 around 5 minutes ago. So I'm still really curious to see. Is it Race Director? Yes, we have Race Director. And, really, only one time Odoms got a, exceeded the track limits warning. That's surprising. We saw him cut it multiple times, but King got 2. Did invalidated lap time warning. 2 guys retired with terminal damage. That's interesting. I did not see them crash. They probably just retired before qualifying started. I think that's what happened. But we can go up to Banana. He's slowing down. The Tag Heuer Red Bull is, I believe, coming into the pits. No, he's going on one more lap with 2.5 minutes remaining. Cross the line, maxing it up, revving it up to 8th gear. Cross the line, you can see the Toro Rosso to the right side, charging in turn 1. It passes 2 cars, hitting the apex, almost running wide, but uses the curbing to his advantage. DRS is open down the straight. He'll move from the right side down to the left-hand side of the track, into the braking zone. No braking markers, locking up that right front just a little bit. He misses the apex, swings it back to the left-hand side, up against the curbing. Does not need to use it, which is the advantage. Gains some tenths, and uses the runoff there. And he'll take the right-hander here, barely hitting the curb. That does slow him down. He could have used a little bit more curb to gain a couple more tenths, but he'll hang towards the right-hand side, switch to the left-hand side, revving it up to almost down to up to 8th gear, but revs it up to 7th and shifts down all the way down to 3rd. Now up to 7 again, down the straight, left-hand side. Will this be the lap for Banana? He is 1.3 seconds off. And I want to say he misses it, but he almost hits the apex with DRS is now open. The slide right-hander, you can't even call it a kink, that's how straight it is. But you can go through the right-hander. He swings the Red Bull, the Tag Heuer powered car, and he'll go through 2 more right-handers and 1 left-hander. He has some dirty air in front of him. That is Robo in the McLaren. Right behind him, 1 more corner, shifts up to almost 5th gear off the corner. He uses a lot of runoff there, run up to the line. There's a yellow in Sector 3. Will this improve the lap time? No, it will not. And actually, yeah, it did. It did. He did stay in the same spot, but he did improve his lap time. And that was an attempt at commentating a qualifying lap. I'm not that good at qualifying commentating laps, but here we go. Less than a minute remaining. Speedsta, he's on his final lap, and this will be the run that he needs. Oh, and that is blocking and qualifying. He must be furious with that. That basically sends pole position out of his way. Speedsta was going to be a big threat for pole, And that lap, I wouldn't say lap car, but the slow car of the Alfa Romeo just held him up there at the start. And I think he has Robo right in front of him too. If that is, oh my goodness, Speedster is off the track. And I guess you could say the only thing that he's speeding on is off the track and into the gravel trap. But he is retired from the session and he's taken Robo with him. Not sure if that will be a penalty or not for getting in the way, or also with the Alfa Romeo of getting in his way. Qualifying has been very messy, while Odoms is on a lap. Diego is very confident on his lap time that he is staying in the pits, while Odoms is on a flyer. There's a yellow in Sector 2 and 3. That's not Sterling West. I wonder who that could be for. That's the Alfa Romeo slow car of Oven. Going through, there's Jack, midfield in 10th. And It's Me moves up to 3rd position on the grid. What about Odoms? He'll try charging through. Just hits the curb. He's on the grass a little bit. We can switch back on board. He's revving it up to 8th gear, and the DRS actually does not go up to 8th gear. And we'll hop over the curb. He uses just enough runoff. He'll have to rev it up to 6th gear almost, but does not. Just enough runoff again. So a right-hander. Right side to the left-hander. And the McLaren is not in the way, and he will not be a factor. Final corner, just enough runoff up to 6th gear, 7th gear. Will he hold it at 7th gear? He crosses line. Odoms does not improve, 6/10, and it is a 5 grid place penalty for what it seems to... Oh my goodness me, what do we have here? We have a Force India of King and Banana colliding before a corner. I'm curious to see how this one happened. They crashed into each other on a straight during qualifying. Interesting. Qualifying is over. Diego wins the pole for the Australian Grand Prix in Albert Park. And that should be it for qualifying. There's 27 comments that I have not read yet. And my phone is blowing up from tags. So that's not ideal. So we're going to read these comments out before we start the race. I think that would be great. However, that's just my opinion. Let's move the microphone closer. Turn the volume off on my phone. I don't want to hear myself. So if anyone does have any questions about anything for the race or the cars or anything, comment down below. Before we start this race, we have a minute left of qualifying with nobody left on track. Let me just make sure the cars are still on track. Nobody's setting a lap time. Oh my... Wow. Many cars have crashed out in qualifying. This is odd. The wheel is spazzing out. 6th place is Banana. And his hands are going banana, that's for sure. And that should be the end of qualifying. When we have a look at the grid results, we will. The stream is not even loading for me, so that is a good sign. Oh, I have my buddy Cam watching this. How you doing, Cam? Long-time league racing friend of mine in the comments. I'd like to give a shout-out to him. But other than that, let's go through the qualifying results. You have Diego, speeds the It's Me, Marquez of Odom, Sterling West. Then you have, is that Banana? Yeah, Banana down in 6th. Then you have King, Fatal, Elite, Jack, then Oven, Treminator. Yeah, I said Treminator, right? Yeah. You have Howitzer in the McLaren. That's someone we forgot to cover. He has a 5 grid place penalty. You have John in 14th, 15th, Mr. Jennings, 16th, Robo, 17th, CX, 18th, JP, and 19th, not setting a time, but the 2 others above is Bella. Bellatrix, 27, we'll just call him Bellatrix, in the Haas, and the other Haas driver of John in 14th. So, yeah, that is qualifying over, and we are just moments away from the start of the Australian Grand Prix in Albert Park. And if anyone is just tuning in now, my name is Alan Cavagnaro, and I was a former commentator of a league, a big league. I'm not going to give out names or anything of leagues, because I don't feel that is appropriate when commentating for another league, but we are here for the ILR Inside Line Racing American Tier Season 5 Race 1. It's the first ever race that we are doing for the America Series, first ever American Series for ILR in general. So for PS4, this is a big step in the North American direction to get more drivers involved. within the Formula One community, and I think this is fantastic. And you know, coming from my opinion as an American, as myself, you know, I'm happy to see that this is finally the case, because when I started league racing, I did grow up around F1 leagues that were American. I ran my own league. I had another friend that ran an F1 league that was mainly based for North Americans, and they never really got coverage. So when this series happened, I am really excited for this to get, you know, good coverage. But here we go. It's the formation lap, and I forgot these things existed in F1 games. So Speedster in second, while on pole you have Diego warming up his tires, the number 22 on pole position. It's been a long time since we've seen a number 22 on pole position, since JB has retired from F1. Well, some others decide they're not going to do qualifying, and they'd rather get disqualified. It's me is disqualified from, obviously, the formation lap. So let's do a top 10 rundown before we start this race. You have Diego on pole. Second is Speedster. Third is It's Me. Fourth is Odoms or Marquez. Fifth is Sterling West. Sixth is Banana. Seventh is King. Eighth is Fatal. Ninth is Elite Lorenzo. And 10th is our very friend Jack, and he's been just hanging on to it. The league owner of ILR, he's making his debut in the America Series as well, just as everyone else is. Even though he's un-American, this series is open to Oceanic drivers, European drivers, Asian drivers, anyone. It's open up to anyone. The difference is it just runs in American time zone. We do have a lot of American drivers in the field, but that does not mean that every single one of them is in American, while Speedster decides to go the easy way out on the formation lap. Let's go to leader detail. We'll have position change for the opening lap just for you guys. So if you look to the right hand side, we're going to have the leader interval, or not the leader, we'll do interval. So you can see the gap between the cars and the position change. We'll keep that for a couple laps to see where everyone got a win or a loss off the start, to see everyone's pace. We'll keep that for a couple laps, then we'll switch the detail to the tires. I think that's good. So moments away from the start of the Australian Grand Prix. There's a question down below for me, what part of America I'm from. I am from Connecticut. I live between Boston and New York, but that's enough about me. I don't really like answering questions about that type of stuff, but we are here for the Australian Grand Prix. It is round 1 of Season 5, and we are just moments away from the start of this race. The yellows are out in Sector 3, and here we go, the 5 red lights to fill on our screens, and we're going to be back in action in Albert Park, and we're green for the Australian Grand Prix. Diego gets off to a thrilling start. Speedster has the inside. There's smoke from behind, but Diego's going to hang on. Will anyone have a go on the inside? There's 3 wide behind. Speedster tangles, and there's almost 4 wide. There's a Ferrari off the track. Is there a big collision? Oh my goodness me. 4 wide. There's a big crash. That is Jack, or not Jack, that is CX out of the race, involved with Jack, the league owner. He's out of it. And Oven did not get going. Many cars, the 2 Williams, back in the grid like it is in real life. But there's a battle going on, and there was 1 car off in the background. I could not tell who that was, but that was a Renault of Elite Lorenzo. Elite Lorenzo was off the track and leading this thing. Man, I'm running out of voice already. But there's a pass between Odoms and It's Me. It's Me is falling down to 4th place and 5th place. Oh, the Ferrari sliding off. That's Sterling West, and West is off the track. That is 1 car retiring already off the start. And here we go, 3 wide off the start. Who's going to get the better end of it? Will there be contact? Will they hang on? Off the wall, the Haas goes. An incredible and impeccable move to move up the grid. And he has absolutely hung on to that one without any damage. And he is just hanging on right now. Speedster falling back from the race leader, but Sterling West moves up another grid position, up to 9th place now. And he is just hanging on to the position right now. And fastest lap for Diego, obviously. Banana falling down to the reins. And actually, he is disconnected from the session, or paused. But, oh, there's another collision up. That's an end plate loss off the McLaren of Robo. And he's going wheel to wheel with the AI car, and he still can't pull away from him. So he'll try the long way around on the Williams. Number 26, he runs them wide. And has the number of Daniel Kvyat. And that looks like a move that he would do in real life. But moving up the grid, that was one Haas driver of, looks to be Bellatrix, just made a mistake, ran wide off the track, and scrolling up through the grid, and it looks to be Odoms making time on, looks to be Speedsta. Made a mistake there. I put the spotlight on him, and he bottled it like he's famously known to do in the community. Would like to highlight that. But it is Sterling West hanging on against Howe. JP Montoya hanging on. Oh, contact in the background. The Bellatrix going wheel to wheel and rubbing tires like they do in Formula E. So he'll try the long way around, and he'll get by him cleanly this time. So Bellatrix is hanging on, and there's a slow McLaren. That is a Howitzer. I'm not sure if there's a problem, but I can see there's a right end plate missing. Really collide with his teammate in the corner. No, he does not, but the Williams does run wide. And Robo moves up a position and tries the easy way around him. Does not get the advantage. The Williams goes in the pits. And will McLaren go in? Yes, he does. That is Howitzer missing a end plate. Anyway, I don't want to miss any battles here, so off the corner we have the Toro Rosso of It's Me working up a position on Odoms. He's fallen back from looks to be Speedsta, so I'm trying to get every single battle in here. I gotta look at the interval, but biggest winner I would say off the start is Bellatrix. He moved up 10 spots from 19th to 9th, and he has been charging through that field, of course, and I'm pretty sure, is that the Williams? No, the Haas, my mistake. That is the Haas in 9th place. Started 19th, so he has absolutely had a stunner start as usual. I say as usual like I've seen him race. This is my first time seeing him race. I just need words to fill in what I say. So in 6th place, Treminator. Hopefully I say his name right. One day I'm going to get it right. Bellatrix in 9th. 10th is Mr. Jennings. Slow McLaren. I'm not sure if he got a bad exit off the corner. But that's what we see right now. Let's look back up to It's Me. Let's ride on board with the Toro Rosso. The team based where Minardi was formed, it was taken over by Red Bull and formed as a sister team, and now he's going to try and make a move on Odoms. He'll look to the inside, but actually does not. He'll try the next sector when Marquez runs wide. DRS is now enabled. A 3-second time penalty for running wide. And he'll try the long way around. Is that Toro Rosso locking up those front tires? Goes Odoms a long way to the short way around. It is It's Me. And he's moved up to 3rd and he hits the wall. I'm not sure if he's got any damage. How did he not get it? It was a tank slapper off the end of the wall. And absolutely no front wing is gone off that car. And he is incredibly lucky to hang on to that thing in one piece. So, looking up, the gap is getting smaller from 1st to 2nd. Speedsta is up there, but he is not getting close to Diego. Diego has had an absolutely thrilling start to pull away from the field so far, and I know Speedsta won't be too proud of that. So, any questions, any person you want to spotlight down below in the comments, like anyone in the race, we can look at this to be Fatal, the Sauber, or I should say Alfa Romeo, in 7th place. Yeah, last time I commentated a league race, there were no Alfa Romeos at all on the grid. So I'm still getting used to everything. Blocking up that left front tire doesn't seem to be that impactful, but he could have a flat spot on the tire already, but running very wide looks to be Silver Arrow in 5th place. Treminator will have to hang on because that Alfa Romeo will look to the inside, puts on the overtake. However, locking up and charging that outside will hang on to, looks to be 6th place. And that was a very, very good move. And somebody said Jono the Great, and I already know who you mean by that. But hanging on right now, there's a battle. Sterling West is now involved. And he is going to try and be a part of this battle. We'll ride on board with the Ferrari. It's Me is right behind Odoms. We'll keep you updated on that battle as well. And we'll just have a backseat view of this one. Odoms is, by the way, in 3rd, or I should say Jono the Great, of what he's known on as Twitter. There's one car in the pits. That's Banana. He's pitting very early and losing the back end. That could have been dangerous for Sterling West. That was a loss of back end and let the air go wild, as you could say. And going through turns 11, 12, 13, very slow. Had to check up as a Ferrari. DRS is enabled through this part. Fatal's going to make a move. And we'll see a move, maybe 2 positions in 1 corner for the Ferrari. Nope. I should say him getting passed by 2 cars, I should say. But single file right now in the background. No moves are done. The Ferrari runs wide. Sterling West has pulled on a mistake, and he decided that's enough. He's going to have to pit right now. And that's what he is doing. And he gets a 5-second stop go for speeding. So they'll have to apply that right now, or I guess not. They're not going to apply this. Okay, never mind. They applied the stop go. There you go. 5 seconds, and he's out. I honestly thought in the F1 games before you had to sit there for 5 seconds, then they would work on the car. I thought that's what they did in 17, but I am apparently mistaken. And I am mistaken that It's Me has moved up into 3rd position. I've been rambling on for a couple minutes, and he's just gone right by him. However, going through the part where It's Me made a mistake the last time around, he gets through cleanly, riding on board with Odoms. And I will say, this is my first race ever online. Actually, that's a lie. I did a couple races last night. And there's Elite Lorenzo falling back. Did he get out of the pits or make a mistake? I have no clue. He's locking up those tires again, and they just switched colors on me. Like it's magic. But he's hanging on to into 14th right now, and a move. Sterling West gets by Robo. I need to pay more attention to these intervals, because I pulled them up for you guys, and I'm not paying attention to them. Position change, stops. So you can see the bottom. Sterling West has made a pit stop. He's the leading man that has made a pit stop. Let's go to the tire compound. Odom's 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings accumulated already in this session. So he's trying to hang on to this thing. Now, he is racing on a controller, so it's a bit harder to race cleanly around tracks like these street circuits. So for Odoms, it is a bit of a challenge, but knowing him, nothing ever gets in his way, and probably after this race, I'll make a TikTok about how it went. So I look forward to that, and as he brushes the grass so close to the wall, the inside wall, I should say. So it is a Force India 4-5. Fatal is threatening that. And any battles happening in the field, I don't see any besides this one, so we'll ride on board with the Alfa Romeo. And as I say that, Jennings gets past, so that is on me. Sterling West moves up into 8th position, or 9th position. My mistake, but looks to be that Williams driver of Mr. Jennings is struggling to go around the track. And, you know, it's a shame. And while I cover that one, there's a move. King MJ working on the outside. The door closes on Fatal. And it's now a Force India 4-6. However, a lot of run on him throughout the last sector. And he'll try and be close on this one. He'll try and get him down the straight. He'll trying to pull ERS while Speedsta gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. And again, I don't see anything in the pits. Looks to be 3 drivers. Diego out of the pits. It's Me is in the pits, and so is Marquez in the pits as well. So charging away at this field now, Speedsta takes the lead with the penalty he just accumulated. I'm trying to get a breath here. I still have not gotten that water bottle, but alrighty, let's look with Diego now. He is 3.5 seconds back. But he did just come out of the pits, and he is the leading car that just came out of the pits. So he'll be hanging on to that one. But going through the field, I don't want to miss another battle. So we're going to look at this right here. Robo falling into the reins of JP. He'll get by him down the straight. That's a terrible camera angle. Thank you very much. Scoots down to the inside. And a bit of an end plate has been chipped off in turn 1. That's off the McLaren of Robo. And Robo, it's already affecting him through the corners. And Robo is falling back. I'm going to see if there's a lockup. He goes in the grass to get as much entrance as possible. He's missing that front wing. And it says Oven got kicked from the lobby. And while another car goes by, that's Jack. He did crash on the opening lap, and he'll fly by the McLaren on lap 8 out of 29. And a beautiful move, but it looks to be Speedsta. He's in the pits. Where is Diego? Could he get the overcut? That's the question. Off the pits he goes. Diego's going to jump him off the pits, and Speedsta, not enough time. He gets jumped by the Red Bull. That's a massive gap, and that's even bigger than it already was. So that's around 3.5, 4 seconds. He lost a 1.5 seconds. That lap alone just goes to show that The undercut was critical in this moment. Gave him an even bigger gap. But now let's look back at Robo. Robo has unplate damage on that right front, as you can see. Right on board with the McLaren. This will be easy doing. There's a move. And an incident somewhere. I don't know where, but the McLaren comes in the pits. Howitzer moves up into the next position. And Mr. Jennings, a 5-second stop-go for speeding in the pits. So that's what he just got. And going through the field, Fatal still leads. The gap between him and Diego is 2.5 seconds merely. So running on board, that Speedster running wide again. He likes to, I wouldn't say cut the track, but he likes to use it to its potential. It's me working up a position on Treminator. Down to the inside. Locking up those right side tires. It's the slide job. He moves up right in front, and it's a beautiful move for P4 on Treminator. Treminator runs a bit wide, and that just goes to show how these tires are so worn at this point. And he's been working up. Sterling West has made a move in the third DRS straight. On to be, looks to be Bellatrix. So the two Ferrari engine cars are going at it, or were going at it. Sterling West has moved up to 8th place. Be the number 4 Ferrari. So while all of that is going on, so much action, we're not even halfway through the race. Let's look at John. He's within a second of the car in front. And as I say that, he's now outside of that gap. Actually, no, he's keeping it within 8/10. So other than that, we're going to stay on board with him just for a moment. I need to share the stream, which I actually have not done yet. However, there's a yellow in Sector 2. Is that Fatal? Yeah, Fatal spun. Fatal's absolutely binned it on those very, very old ultra soft tires. He's done 10 laps on them so far, and Robo with a time penalty. And yeah, just I'm surprised. I really am. Sterling West is gaining on the Force India, but that is our first spin in this race that was not on the opening lap. It was forced by driver error, I assume. There was no mechanical errors. It's sort of odd to see that in this game. However, it is a penalty for Bellatrix, 3 seconds for multiple warnings. And we're going to stay on board with this Ferrari to make up a move for P7, which is critical. It is 6 points in the championship, right over the curb. Just enough run off those left sides, going the sand trap, however, he gets out of it. And he's going to have to save his tires a little bit. He's been pushing them. He's been absolutely abusing those tires and pushing them to the limits. And let's look with Odoms, he's so close, or at least was so close, to the back end of Treminator. That gap is a little bit larger now. We'll look with Sterling West exceeding those track limits. However, he may have a run. He'll look to the outside with the DRS. He'll try the outside. He may try the little switcheroo on the Force India. He does, but it closes up. It'll have to wait again, and that Ferrari is just going to have to be a little bit more patient. And Fatal actually is, I'm not sure what Fatal is doing, but there's a slow car. That's Robo and the McLaren. He'll move by him. And we'll ride on board with Shane here, working on Treminator. Yep, okay, I knew that. And he's going to absolutely cut the next part of the track. Here we go, DRS to the inside. And looking goes Odoms. He'll fly by the Silver Arrow. The two Mercedes engine cars will go at it, but it is clear that Odoms was the one to beat in that one. And there's another slow McLaren. Both McLarens are not having good days, that is for sure. Sterling West finally gets by King. And King MJ, he finally gets by him. However, will he have a go in the next part? Locking up. He almost hits the back end, and I think he did. Fatal is now in the pits. Let's ride on board with this Force India. And he'll chase him down the straight. DRS is open. He'll obviously put it into ERS management for hot lap. He'll look to the inside, almost onto the grass. He did hit the grass. A beautiful move. And the Force India cannot hang on, because Sterling West runs wide and uses the outside. And they'll still go at it. And he'll try the outside. It'll be a ding-dong battle for what it seems to be. P6 around the outside. The Ferrari locks up, and he pushes him wide off the track. He may have to give it back for the Force India. Oh my goodness, that was a well-fought battle for P6, and he could not get the job done. So we'll have to wait another lap on this one, and that's why patience is absolutely keen in moments like these. He had the opportunity, and he just did it at the wrong part of the track. He tried the outside, and the Ferrari just forced him into an incident. However, there's one more shot. He has one more shot this lap. Stay within the slipstream. Turns 11, 12, 13, get good runs, and get him down the third DRS straight. That's his only opportunity. We'll ride on board. He misses the apex, and he'll have to wait till next lap to get it, but he does have DRS. Oh my goodness, that was a fantastic battle. And here's Jack back. Oh, that rhymed. Jack back in P11, and, wow, he just got a penalty, I think, or something of that sort. Going through the field, my controller keeps hitting the bed. We'll ride on board with Fatal. He's on new tires and should be past this Williams. And it's not a Williams? No, that's, I can't even tell. That's a Haas. That's a Haas. Okay. Could not even tell. Terminator's in the pits. Actually, he's out of the pits now. Chasing down the straight. The Haas. The two Ferrari-powered cars to the outside goes to Sauber, and this time will it work? Around the outside, he'll try the old switcheroo, getting held up, and he'll have to try and realign himself, entering the straight and entering turn 2. So down the straight, this would be fantastic for the car behind if they keep battling like this, and but that will not be the case, and keeping back in what it seems to be 8th place is going to be Fatal on Bellatrix, not being able to make a move. I'm not sure what to do right now. I want to switch upwards, but this is the only battle we have. We have Elite Lorenzo going at it with JP Montoya. Montoya runs wide. He'll grab the spot. So that's what happens there. Let's move back up with Fatal. Fatal will probably get him on the third DRS straight, and I will have time to tweet this very momentarily. So put the link here at ILR. And looks to be holding him up through the two kinks there. He'll get him down the straight with DRS. Will he put on a defending move? There's a yellow in Sector 1. Side by side goes the Haas and the Ferrari, or the Haas and the Alfa Romeo. The Haas runs wide without any contact, and that was a driver error. I assume race control for Howitzer, a 3-second for just multiple warnings, not warnings. Accumulated in the session so far. Terminator, let's look at this one right here. I think Terminator just came out of the pits, so this should be an easy picking for him. And let's look to be right now inside line racing at ILR. Okay, I'm trying to do this tweet at the same time because I need to put something up. But riding on board with the Mercedes, the Silver Arrow. Will DRS be open? He clicks the button. That'll be for the ERS, not only for DRS, but he deploys ERS. Will he have a late lunge to the inside? And he does. Will he run wide? He hangs just enough space to stay on track. And Bellatrix trying to move up the inside, obviously was not going to do it and backed off. So that is Terminator moving up. Oh my goodness, and we have one car out, and I can't even see who that was. I can't even see what the crash was for. Let's ride on board with the McLaren. Let's see if we can see who that was. I'm afraid it could be in this section. Will there be a car? There's a yellow here. Yeah, my goodness. You can see the Red Bull. There's a right front missing off that car. So that's what happened. Anyway, let's look at JP Montoya. Trying to reel back Elite Lorenzo. So, post down in the comments. Oh my goodness, we're already halfway through this race, and I'm already out of breath. I mean, I was out of breath on lap 1, but this is different. I need to have a little more endurance in my voice for this, but I think this is the first time in the race where the gap between each and every single driver was more than a second. So now I have a little time to breathe, recuperate my voice for the second stint of this race. Man, I need that water bottle. I need something. I need something to keep me going. But 8 tenths now. Elite Lorenzo. Is that to be... That's Jack's AI here. I'll make an easy picking of him on that Toro Rosso. We'll try the outside. Not much doing, because that's the... It said AI, but... Switching tires and banging wheels. And to the inside. I'm not sure if this is Jack or not. Never mind, we have a virtual safety car. I forgot. I thought I disconnected from the session for a second. But we are now under a VSC. And, Yeah, I was so scared for a second. I thought I disconnected, but that is Odom's out of the race. I completely missed it. Odom's is out of the race. Was it same part of the track? Let's see. Yeah, same part of the track. He must have cut it too much. I mean, out of my one race of career mode on this game, I have learned that if you cut any of those two kinks, you're going to lose the back end and spin it. So that's probably what he did, and we saw a clear indicator in qualifying that Odom's was cutting these corners consistently lap after lap and having creative interpretations of the track limits. But we're green again, and it's a beautiful, beautiful time for Sterling West to stroll right on into the pits, and that's absolutely what he does. Will he get fatal off the pits? No, he will not. He falls. We'll Treminator. It's a wheel-to-wheel battle, and we'll see 3 wide with the car merging back on track. Will it be a factor? No one will not, because Treminator hangs on against Bellatrix. Was that Bellatrix? No. Bellatrix. What happened to Bellatrix? What happened? I have no clue. I am a little confused right now. One car off the track. That was... these are lapped cars. I'm pretty sure that was Robo spinning off the track. And don't merge on, don't merge on. What are you doing? Don't merge on. Okay, let them race. The Renault runs wide up the inside, and it's pulling in Antonio Giovinazzi right now, where Jarno Trulli just blocking everyone. Either a lap down, neither of that, doesn't matter. He's just, I'm gonna say, holding him up. But I'm trying to, is this Elite Lorenzo he's dealing with? Yes, it is. And Speedsta, another time penalty, hopping over the curb. There is Elite Lorenzo. Lorenzo lost a position, and there, I think that's Jack. That is Jack. The McLaren finally backs off. He's in the grass. Jack gets by. As soon as Jack gets by, he's gonna... Man, the McLaren merges off track. He's done his deed, and off the track he goes. While Sterling West moves up his position against the Haas. They've been going at it the entire race of Bellatrix and Sterling West. And if you've noticed, It's Me has moved up into second, while Speedsta has third. I'm going to take a, let's see, the detail stops. Yeah, that's why Speedsta has made his second stop under that VSC. I wonder if this is going to win him the race or not. I mean, I'm looking at the interval. That's a clear gap of 23 seconds. And looks to be many cars make up spots because Bellatrix is in the pits for one final stint in this race. Jack, 3-second time penalty. So, I honestly want a boring next couple of laps. I need to make this tweet. But you can see this is the closest battle we have right now. JP Montoya against Elite Lorenzo. And he's been hanging on for just a couple laps now, even before that VSC. He's been absolutely hanging on. We will ride on... Hold on, what happened? Bellatrix in the pits. Howitzer moves up. Okay, that's what I missed. I wasn't paying attention. That's what it was. Let's ride on board with Elite Lorenzo now, the Renault. From Brackstone, and locking up those front tires. Every time I switch cameras, I always miss something. But Speedsta on the fastest lap time on those super soft tires. Remember, these guys start on the ultra soft tires, the even more grippy, the even more grippy tires. But now, since the grip has set into that track, the ones from those ultra soft tires, it's now going to be even quicker on those supers, despite having less grip. So, even in more clean air from the start, so Speedsta will be doing that, and that's what he just did. So, that is a clear example of what just happened. Let's ride on board with Lorenzo, because he is reeling in Jack. So, actually, never mind, he reels him into the pits. And as I thought we were going to have a good battle, I say otherwise. The closest gap between someone right now is in the pits. Let's ride on board with Montoya. Let's see where he comes out in the pits. Then Williams should be down at the end of the pit lane because they finished 10th in Constructors last year in F1. That's why we're with him, but he falls back to everyone. The Renault and the Toro Rosso. So we will stay on board with him off the pits. And while the McLaren flies by, oh, that's a dangerous pit exit from the Renault of Elite Lorenzo. What was he doing? And I think he's going to try and gain in the McLaren, but not much doing it. So the Elite Lorenzo is hanging on, but again, I'm not sure if he got a warning or not for that dangerous pit release. We have 11 laps to go, and it's still in question who's going to win this race, because Speedsta did pit with the VSC, and he's already made his pit stop. He can make it to the end if he saves those tires. So that's what he's doing right now. And it looks to be Robo, 3-second time penalty. And insult to injury while he falls back even more. I think he just let him by because that gap was more than a second. He just let him by. And looks to be Sterling West is in the pits. They are fixing that front wing, and he has retired from today's Australian Grand Prix. So we're going to stay with Elite Lorenzo. He will look for a move on Howitzer. And final corner. And he will be looking to do something. Runs very wide. He will have DRS. Actually, is DRS enabled because that VSC it should be. Switching camera angles to the inside. He'll make a move, and he'll do it easy, picking on him in turn 1. Hops over the curb, and that is going to be P8 for that Renault. And he has absolutely moved up in the next position, and that's going to help JP Montoya behind him. And that basically cost him a second or two. Oh, looks to be... Does he have some front wing damage? That was a lot of understeer in that left-hander. But, that's what it is right now. He's gonna... We'll ride on board JP Montoya. He is gaining, however, so that's what we're gonna do. And in the Williams... I am quiet right now. I'm trying to rest my voice because nothing is going on right now. So if you get mad at me for not being loud, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to rest my voice for a couple laps. And I'm also trying to send out the link to a couple other people who asked me for it. And I'm 20 laps late on that promise. So I'm sorry for making a promise. So that was a mistake from JP Montoya there through the kink. However, he made the mistake and he was slow through the kink. So, you know, that was one less lap he has to worry about it. So running the car through the corner, like every F1 car does. I'm running out of voice to... I wouldn't say running out of voice, but I need a bottle of water next time. That's all I'm going to say. But again, we'll ride on board with the Williams. And in this game, they seem to be faster because it is equal car performance, despite having that Mercedes powertrain. And he'll just try to stay with the McLaren. I'm surprised he's not trying to hook up for slipstream, but I think he just tried to have the inside there to get some DRS, and that's exactly what he's going to do. DRS on the Williams. Will he have a move to the inside of the McLaren? Will it be a late lunge? From a far way back, he goes onto the grass, and the McLaren goes back for, it looks to be, P9. And could not do it. And the other McLaren is slow in the grass. Will this be a factor? Two McLarens. This is just chaos right now. I can't even tell which one was which. He had to cut the corner to avoid the lapped car. The lapped McLaren. And that Speedsta. Another time penalty. Insult to injury on his day. And we'll still ride on board with JP Montoya. And it's frustrating to see so many time penalties given out to guys like Speedsta who can contend for this win because he's on the better strategy. But obviously, for his case right now, he does not have the pace. He's been falling back on time. And actually, am I right? No, I'm wrong. I'm stupid. He has gained 2 seconds on Diego over the last 5 laps or so. It was 23 seconds. It's now 20 seconds. So he has been pushing that car, but it shouldn't be enough. It's me is falling back on Diego while Speedsta is gaining. However, I don't think that time being gained will be worth it, because by the time Diego comes out of the pits, those things will be absolutely shredded with spots on them. And for his case, there's a lot of lag. Hopefully I can get through this race. But yeah, for his case, he's going to have to be saving those tires, and that's exactly the opposite of what he's been doing to those things. And Jack is in 7th. Let's do a grid rundown. Diego first, second, it's me, third, LR Speedsta, fourth is King MJ, fifth is Fatal, sixth is Treminator, and looks to be 7th is Jack, 8th is Elite Lorenzo, 9th is Howitzer, 10th is JP Montoya, 11th Bellatrix, 12th is Jennings, 13th John, and 14th is Robo. So let's ride on board with someone else. Let's ride on board with Speedsta, because he is reeling in not only Robo, but slow car. How are you going to deal with that? I could probably imagine that inter-team radio saying blue flags like Seb would during a race, but apparently we can't hear him. So we can only interpret that. So through the left and right kink up to 7th gear. We'll try and max out on it. Down to 4th gear, 3rd gear through the corner, up to 4th gear again. There's a yellow in Sector 3. That's Bellatrix out of the race. Coming up on it, there's a battle up here too I am completely missing. I saw someone side by side. Yeah, here it is. That's King MJ on a lapped car, and nice camera angle we get there for once. And he will move up another grid spot. So the Williams boys run 10 and 11. However, a big gap between the two. King MJ just picked up a penalty. We have 6 laps to go. And he will be on a move to get this thing done. So I have noticed Speeds' gap is staying constant now. It's me is falling back. I hear the phone ringing in the background, and thankfully it is not in my room, like we've seen in the past and other races I've done. So that is John moving up, passing the retired car. I wonder where his car is on track. Can't tell. But anyway, I just noticed I have a sore throat. So we're going to go bonkers these last 6 laps and try and get something done. But as it seems right now, the gaps are too big. And actually, these guys are doing the 1-stop. From what I've known from Australia, the 2-stop has usually been the way to go. But I think that's been in F1 2016 and F1 2017. So, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm used to seeing the 2-stop here, so the 1-stop on those softs either. Regardless, at the end, these tires will be shredded, and everyone will be saving, and I think that's why the gap is so big. And actually, I am wrong. JP Montoya, he is right behind a McLaren. He is around a second or so. Speedsta, another time penalty. Eventually, you're going to get disqualified from the session. That's how big it's going to be. And anyway, let me retweet that. There you go. Okay, and it was a mistake from JP Montoya that we just saw, and I'm not sure what's going on, if this is lag or not. But you can see, I think he's running on a controller. I can see those hands shaking in there, and that's exactly not what you want to do. But yeah, we come down to 24 laps out of 29. Comment down below who you think driver of the day should be, and also make sure on Twitter to give Inside Line Racing a follow. Their Twitter handle is at ILR League, or ILRLEAGUE, and also give me a follow. That's Alan Cavey, ALANC. I almost spelled it wrong. ALANCAVY. And if you want any more questions pertaining to this series, if you want to join, you can contact Jack or ILR. You can contact Odoms, who's actually, again, retired from the race, or you can talk to me, because I can probably transfer you to Jack as well. Because this is a really fun series. I've been having a blast with this race, honestly. It doesn't sound like it, but I have a sore throat. And mostly, you know, it's my first race back, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's a slow car. Is that Speedsta, I think? I think that could have been... Yeah, there's only one Ferrari left on track. I should have known. But he's weaving now. I'm not sure what he's trying to show, but he is reeling in. It's me, and that gap is coming down. It is a 21-second gap. Did I do it right? 18, 19... Yeah, 21. 21-second gap between first and third. It's not going to be enough. And if there's any comments you want me to say out loud down below, I will say it. And some guys in the comments I do know. And shout out to Soup and Ryan watching the race. You know who you are. And nice to see them, but a couple laps left to go, and that gap is trimming on down lap after lap after lap. And yellow sector 3, that is, Diego is out. Our race leader is out of the race with just a couple laps to go, and the battle for the lead will be coming down to it. Oh my goodness, he was pulling away. I think he pulled an Ayrton Senna at Monaco. He was so comfortable with the lead, he's so comfortable pushing the car, and he just forced himself into a mistake. I'm not sure where that stood. Did he just retire in the pit lane? I have no clue what happened, because there's no debris on the track of what just happened. But with a couple laps to go, our race leader is out of the race, and it will be I'm not going to say a battle for the win, maybe a battle of some sorts that won't count for anything because of the penalties that Speeds has accumulated. But it's shocking. Can you see anything down that pit straight? I have no clue. I don't see anyone in the pit straight, so just passing him. Let's see when Fatal passes him. right about now, so he must have... did he crash coming into the pit lane? That's what I'm thinking. I don't see any debris in that pit lane. I am clueless. That was a clear shot of the pit lane. There's absolutely no debris, and he retired before any pit stalls. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. I wish I was on board with him when that happened, but I'm clueless. I do not know it. That's the first time I'm speechless. I don't know what happened. Because with F1 2018, I'm struggling to figure out that when you retire, you can't spectate anyone anymore. It's not like F1 2017 when you can look at the car that has 3 tires attached to it, you know? It's like that. You can't do that anymore. So you have to go to the driver behind and see when they pass each other. And actually, I'm weaving down the straight with a lapped car, goes Speedster. He knows he will not win this race, and he knows that he will finish in second. And the gaps are just inevitable for him to work with. And 3 laps to go. We will have 12 finishers in this race. And some of these guys have not even caught up to what it seems to be Diego. Yeah, it was supposed to be a masterclass Grand Prix from Diego, and he could not do it. I'm pretty sure that he was so close to the 90% rule, too. If only there were less than 10 drivers, he still would have gotten points. But that's what it is. Elite Lorenzo, he's close to the Toro Rosso of Jack. My voice is absolutely stressed, and I'm going to have to take a shower after this. My room is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been warm for the first time, and I did not want to have the window open when I'm commentating. I never have the window open when I commentate. So I'm sort of sweaty, to say the least, not like these drivers that have been pushing it, and who've been pushing against the limits of this game. So we'll check with a couple laps to go. It's me crosses the line with 2 laps to go. The penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Yellow in Sector 2. I wonder who that could be, and that is no one, apparently. Yellow for no reason. So again, comment down below who you think driver of the day should be. With 2 laps to go, It's Me has hung on. Let's look at if you want to make a judgment based on, there you go, the how many positions gained. What I find ironic is that Bellatrix retired in the position, like in more positions that the person has gained in this race. So that's a little shocking. So even with the retirement, he did gain positions. So it is shocking. Anyway, we are on the penultimate lap now to the final lap, just going through Sector 3. It's Me will cross the line eventually with 1 to go, and every single runner left in this race besides Speedster has gained positions. So that's it basically goes to show that if you survive any incident on track, you will gain spots, basically, and there will only be 2 people who will not score points. Now, I'm not sure that'll be before penalties are handed out, if there are any, an example, that first lap incident we saw. But final lap it is in the Australian Grand Prix in Albert Park, and that Toro Rosso, powered by Honda, is leading this thing with 1 to go, and this may be the only thing that we may see Honda up there for. I'm kidding. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to joke like that on commentary. I remember some people didn't like it back then, so I'm going to try and keep it close, or I'm going to try and limit that. But another 3-second time penalty on the last lap. He's trying to beat him on track, and I don't think he's going to, especially with those penalties he's getting for running wide off the track, getting grass on his tires. It's not ideal, but that's what it is. But for the final lap, I'm going to say thank you to Speedster and Marquez Rodems for helping me get F1 2018. Again, comment down below if you think the audio is too loud or too quiet. I can fix it. I did not mess with it until this race, so I'm not sure. But again, a big thank you to them for helping me get the game. And ILR, in general, my comeback to commentary, it has been fantastic. So it'll be through the Prost corner. It will be It's Me and the Toro Rosso final corner, he'll cross the line, and I wouldn't say well-earned, but very consistent, crosses the line, and wins a season opener with the most points he could get. A 16-second gap from him and Speedster. Speedster grabs second place, and it is a well-earned victory from the Toro Rosso. He fought back, and he was able to win by surviving on track. And what it should be third place is King MJ. He'll go through the Prost corner and the penultimate corner. And final corner it is for the Force India. He will limp across the line. It could have been Odom's, but it'll be his teammate in P3 for the Force India squad, or I should say Racing Point. And it's a... and he got a 5-second penalty for an unserved stop-go. So he probably got that after he pitted, I'm afraid. Fatal gets 4th place. He fought back for it. 5th place will be Treminator. Mr. Jennings are going... Actually, no, never mind. He just accumulated a penalty while their AI are controlling. But it'll be so close for Elite Lorenzo. Cannot do it. Final corner. Jack will get P6 as he crosses the line for Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso getting the most points today as a constructor. That should be, I believe, if I can do the math in my head, 33 points today. If I'm right, 33, that should be. So here we are on the top step podium. It's me. So anticlimactic. But the Toro Rosso driver stands on top. The last time we saw a Toro Rosso driver win an F1 race was back in 2008 with Sebastian Vettel. And second is a Ferrari, and in third is the Force India Racing Point Sport Pisa driver. I'm going to say the full name because nobody remembers the full name nowadays. What's the full name? BWT, Force India Racing Point Sport Pisa Racing, something like that. I don't know. I got XP for watching the race, so I'll take it. You know, I get XP for watching this thing. So our winner, without any time penalties, from third on the grid, it's me. And then let's do a quick rundown. I want to see how fast I can say their names. I'm going to pick up the mic for a second. So let's see how fast I can say these names. Ready, set. It's me, Speedster King, Fatal, Treminator, Elite Lorenzo, Jack Howitzer, JP Montoya, and rounding out the top 10, Mr. Jennings. After that, we have John McClane. Oh, I just called him by John. I didn't see the full name. John McClane, then Robo Harley. We have Diego, who retired from the race and started from pole. I believe he had the Speedster had the fastest lap time with a 1:22.3. After that, it was Bellatrix and Sterling West. Odom's retired in the beginning. He already made it a stop, then retired. He started from 4th on the grid. After that, we had Banana, then we had CX rounding out the grid. And that was me coughing because I did this entire race without a water bottle and without a commentator, and I have not commentated in a year. So I feel like I should get driver of the day. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, driver of the day, I honestly don't know. I don't know who to give it to. Comment down below who you think driver of the day should be, because I would love to hear your guys' opinions. We'll get driver interviews in just a second. I just realized like 2 people in this series or 2 people in this lobby have me as a friend, so I'm just gonna invite the party to this. Whoever joins, I don't really care. I'll invite everyone. So momentarily, we're gonna invite people. Invite message crew. Racing, send that, 8 players. Whoever wants to join can join. I need to take a breath. Speedster says, oh, mic closer to my face. There you go. Yeah, Odoms could definitely be driver of the day. Oh my goodness. Can I mess with this?
Just kidding.
I can't hear you guys through my headset for once, so hold on a second.
What were you doing on the formation lap? I took you out because I wanted to.
Okay, fair, but like. I think we need a little bit of a clarification.
I wanted to.
Ferrari.
It's the one that was a real issue was, you know, things happen, but he just happens to be Mr. Jennings in the Williams. I didn't want to send to them me up in the Force India, but it is what it is. We just got to keep moving. P3, that's what we aim for today, and that's what we got. So I'm happy with the result.
I haven't asked a question
Obviously,
yet,
my teammate couldn't keep the wall out of the wall, but yeah, ask the question and then I'll
there
answer.
you go. I was gonna start with Speedsta because well, it's me is not in the party yet. I can't check who's in the party right now. Just let me know if he joins or not. But Speedsta, how many penalties did you end up getting today? I lost count after the third or fourth one. I knew you were charging to get that, or at least second place. And then eventually it was the win because Diego retired. So what were the thoughts going through your head? Because you did try to pull off the two-stop today.
Hold on, I'm just doing a random number generator to answer your question. 1 in 100. Okay, I guess I had 7 penalties according to this.
Oh my god!
I had like 15 seconds. I don't really care at the end. I was just trying to catch him. The fact that I lost probably about 15 seconds to people not knowing what a blue flag means. And I mean is like I tried to overtake. Oh yeah, it was Jennings. It was really funny actually because as I was coming up to him, he moved over like he was trying to defend a position. Which I thought was pretty. I thought that was pretty cute. But afterwards, he then forced me water into the grass, and so I had to waste 5 seconds going back on after that. But when I saw the king was 40 seconds behind, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Oh, I can't use that word, but you know, screw it. I'm just.
We apologize for that hostile and vulgar language.
I was just seeing how fast I could go. I wasn't driving with a line, which is kind of a new thing for me. So you know.
If you have any viewers under the age of 10, I do apologize.
Hey guys, I want an 11 grid on the start.
And
is that Odoms that you're in the background?
It is Odoms.
So I have a question for you. You were running up inside the top 5, and you ended up retiring from the race. Care to explain what happened?
Running's a strong word. I'd more say lagging up near the front, but.
So what had happened was I'm a fraud. I'm not good at this game. So as I was turning into the fast left right, like every single time I took it really tentative because I just thought I would spin. And the one time I was like, you know, I don't care anymore. I just put it in the wall. So yeah, got absolutely outclassed by my teammate. Words are gonna need to be said. We're gonna have to just look at this. We're gonna have to have a talk with the team. We're gonna come back stronger next week, hopefully.
Let me check who else is in the party. Hold on a second. So we also have Bellatrix, Truminator, King MJ. So let's go with King because you ended up getting third. Basically Odoms' teammate. So with 4 or 5 laps to go, you weren't even running third because Diego is up there. He retired. Race to third place because it didn't seem likely throughout the race until the last couple of laps when all the puzzle pieces came together. So how were you able to pull it off today?
You know, it was a bit of luck. It was a bit of, the boys back at home in England, telling me what we need to do to push. Basically, in the first stint, it was a bit dodgy. The Ultra Softs weren't really the race tire. They're falling off a bit. So, Odoms, he was the leading driver, so he got the first pit. I had to cover a fatal, so I pitted as well. The softs it took a while to get going, but after a while, you got some heat into him. I got into a nice little battle with Sterling West. He got passed, but he pitted under the VSC after someone crashed. It was my teammate, unfortunately. And we're running in P4, a comfortable P4. Obviously, Speedster was out of range. There was no way we could battle him, so we just turned the engine down, just kept it in third or fourth until Diego had to come in together with the wall, and P3 was a bonus, and everything just worked out. It was a solid drive. A bit lucky with the result, but we move. Hopefully in China, both Force Indies can cross the line, and we can get some solid points.
Oh yeah.
Wait, why were you saving the engine though? Like, because it kind of resets each race?
No. So basically, with the engine, we just need to turn it down because it doesn't reset. That's what most people think, but actually we'll be using the same engine in China.
Yeah, we're not a very rich team, unfortunately. We do have limited engine tokens, so I did unfortunately ruined my gearbox, so I'll probably be taking a 5-second place grid penalty. But it's fine, we move.
Yes, come on.
So
what? Okay,
let's
but I'm
do
just gonna-
one more question before I finish this thing up. So who wants the last question? Who wants the last question? Okay, Odoms. This will be a humorous question. Well, this will be to everyone but Odoms. What is your bet on Odoms making a TikTok after this race on how his race went today?
Well, I think that there's already sufficient TikToks up there about, you know, him driving 2 laps, crashing out, getting all angry, so I don't think a TikTok is needed.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I'm just joking.
I know he'll do something for this race, but where are we next race? Let me check the schedule that I got sent. I do not remember the schedule from the top. We're at China?
What a terrible track. Yep, we're at China.
We're in Shanghai. Such a thrilling 1000th Grand Prix we saw this morning, didn't we?
Oh yes.
Yeah, because you definitely stayed up till 2 in the morning, Alan. Because I know you. You definitely stayed up till.
I was going to. I thought it was at 1 in the morning, and I turned on the TV.
I stayed up till 4.
Yeah, something else was on TV, and I'm like, whatever. I'll fall asleep. I wake back up at 1:45, and I'm like, it's not worth it. I go back to sleep. So I ended up missing a boring race, which I don't really care for. I don't really care. So happy I missed that. But anyway,
when you're talking to your grandchildren about F1, you'll be like, yeah, I never watched the 1000th race. What a shame.
Oh, such a shame. So anyway, that's going to do it for the season opener in the first ever ILR America's tier race. And you saw it first. Diego was about to win, but it's me that crossed the line in first. Second was Speedsta, and third was King MJ in the Force India. We will see you next week for the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. I'm Alan Cavagnaro, joining you with most of the drivers that race today. And we'd like to see you next week. So have a great day, everybody. Have a safe night. And peace.
Delivery?
Vamos.
Vamos.